Hello, good evening. This is Brother Benson Media, and today is a Wednesday, and most of Kenyans call it a Black Wednesday. And as a channel, we want to take this opportunity to fast, just like the people of Kenya have been doing so. Today, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga was pronounced dead, and for that reason, the people of Kenya has been mourning, of course, starting from the pronouncement from the president, a pronouncement that found the people of Kenya with a lot of shock. I want to take this opportunity first on behalf of this channel, by the Benson Media, to as well send our condolences to the family of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, to the people of Kenya, to his friends, and to everyone who knew him at a personal level. I also want to take this opportunity to first give the panelists to also give their take, just a word of condolence before we get deep into this story. I'll start with you, Miguda.
Thank you, Makobura. I just want to reiterate that indeed it is a Black Wednesday, just the way you have confirmed to our viewers. And as for me, I just want to join my fellow Kenyans to convey my heartfelt condolence to the family for this time whereby it was untimely demise of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. And without saying much, I can just confirm to you that indeed we have lost a hero, and we wish the Kenyan people all the best. And also, we say sorry to Kenyans for losing such a hero, and may God rest his soul in eternal peace.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And allow me to give Brother Benson also a chance to give his condolences.
Thank you so much, Makobura, for the opportunity. I don't have much to say, and I would join my colleague Miguda and you also and Kenyans at large to send my sincere condolences to the family of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, to the good people of Kisumu, and also to the country at large. We've lost an icon, somebody that has really fought for this country, somebody that has a very big history of Kenya, and I believe that his contribution to Kenya as a country will be in our hearts and will be shared with generation to come. That is all that I can say for now as we continue with the conversation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And before we get into the discussion, allow me to acknowledge the presence of our good friend, Good Year. Thank you so much for finding time to join us this evening. It's been a while. Allow me to also acknowledge the presence of our good friend Judith Caritha at the comment section. Thank you so much for also finding time to join us. Allow me as well to acknowledge the presence of our good friend Eric Ayaga at the comment section. And we say a big thank you to all of you who have gotten time to be with us this evening. I'll just take a brief to to give a brief of the early childhood of Raila Odinga. First, I would like to say that Raila's eulogy would paint the portrait of a fearless reformer, relentless opposition leader, and a father of Kenya's democratic struggle. His life was a statement to resilience, sacrifice, and unwavering belief in a better Kenya. And, If I give a brief history of his early life, Raila Odinga was born on date 7th in 1945 in Maseno, that is in Kisumu County. And his father was Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Kenya's first vice president and the founding figure of the post-independence politics. Raila was educated in East Germany, earning a degree in mechanical engineering. He returned to Kenya in the 1970s, entering public service and later politics. And when when he joined, when he came back to Kenya, I think, Brother Ben, I don't know if you can get a chance to share with Eric uh, a link. He's requesting for the link as I'll be giving a brief history. So when Raila came to return to Kenya in the early 1970s, he entered public service and later politics. And
Makobura,
yes,
based on where I am, I cannot access because you're the person hosting. I cannot access. I'm using a different, you know,
it's okay. I've shared a link via the comment section. Eric and whoever wants to give their condolences to the former prime minister can just find time to join and give a brief, condolence. So, as I am giving a brief history of Raila's life, where when he came and joined politics, he was detained without trial for 6 years. That is in between 1982 to 1988, after being linked to a failed coup attempt against President Moi. He became a symbol of resilience and multi-party democracy, joining forces with other reformists like Kenneth Matiba and Charles Rubia. He co-founded FORD, which is Forum for the Restoration of Party of Democracy, which later on split into factions, leading to the birth of FORD Kenya. Raila has always been known as the position leader, and he ran for presidency 5 times. That was in 1997 when he first attempted for the presidential seat. He came again in 2007, where there were rumors, or it was being said that he won, and he was never given the baton. He went again in 2013, 2017, 2022, where he was never officially declared winner, but always he did what we call mobilization, where he mobilized massive support, and of course was loved by quite a lot. His 2007 loss led to post-election violence, culminating into a political sharing deal, where he became the prime minister, and that is why, for the many years, he's always been referred as the prime minister. This is a post that he held between 2008 and 2013 under President Mwai Kibaki's leadership. He is again instrumental in the 2010 constitution, which of course restructured Kenya's governance and and devolved power. Again, part of what I will read in his eulogy as well is the handshake and the Azimio era. In 2018, Raila shocked the nation by, of course, shaking the hands with President Uhuru Kenyatta, ending years of political hostility that the president, or the supporters of the president then, and the supporters of the position had for quite a long. The handshake, as you can remember, led to the BBI, that was which Building Bridges Initiative, a failed attempt at the constitutional reforms. If you can remember, it was all geared towards the changing of the constitution, something that really never never came to pass. In 2022, Raila led the Azimio la Umoja coalition, narrowly, of course, losing to the current president in a hotly contested election. And that is part of a brief history of who Raila Amolo Odinga is. Of course, we've seen people giving their take or eulogizing the former uh, prime minister. We saw the Speaker of the National Assembly, Batangula, calling him a statesman larger than life. And President Ruto also declared a state funeral with military honors, describing Raila as a patriot who gave his all for Kenya. And the speaker did mention that the parliament will hold a full day tribute session with MPs wearing black and sharing personal reflection or what they had, between whether at a personal level or at their political capacity levels. So, part of what then we will um, give our take on now is Raila Amolo Odinga, the man who never gave up on Kenya, as some of them are calling him, as other people are calling him. So, and from detention to prime minister, Raila's journeys of sacrifice. What do we learn from the Raila's bold moves? Part of those that he did take. And again, remember, Raila also had what we call global impact. He has always been called a Pan Africanism. If you've been listening to Kenyan music, some of the musicians do call him a Pan Africanism. And of course, Raila was respected across Africa for his Pan African ideals. Remember, not so many years ago, before he used to work as the high infrastructural leader in Africa. He also did mediation roles in quite a number of countries, and of course, the democratic advocacy. He's always been known as the father of democracy in Kenya and across. He did also play a role in AU peace mission in South Sudan, in Ethiopia, among others. The other time he was vying for the AUC chairmanship. His death, of course, has prompted tributes from African heads of state and global leaders. Part of that close relationship he had with quite a number of leaders from across the globe. And I think that is the brief that I can give about the life of one Raila Amolo Odinga. I'll also give you Miguda to give your view on what you learned or you heard about one Raila Amolo Odinga, and possibly to you know to clarify in one or two of what really you miss about him.
Okay,
And
thank you,
before you come
Makobura.
in, allow me to remind our good friend Eric Ayaga that I'd shared a link via the comment section. He can come and also give us his take. Miguda?
Okay, thank you, Makobura. First, anything I heard about him, I just want to leave it at that level. But because I'm privileged to have witnessed him, to see him, actually to meet him, and also to shook his hand. So I'm privileged that I've seen him, and I'm also happy today that I've seen a hero demising. So first, let me tell you from what. First, let me also let me appreciate the President William Ruto for allowing Raila to be granted state burial with full military program, including all the accords given to the head of state. So he's going to be buried like an head of state and a commander in chief of the armed forces. That one is very much respect a friend can give to you. And tomorrow, make sure that you pass by parliament so that you can view the body of the former prime minister Makobura, because that one could be one of the respect you are showing to the dead. I just want to tell you that personally, my eyes opened early 2000. I think that's when I was growing. I was a toddler, I think 2007. So I grew up knowing Raila, and I knew him as the presidential contestant against Moi Kibaki. And for that reason, Raila, even if you go to my bio, Raila has been my hero from the time I joined active politics. I mean, when I started to study politics, there's that person you you look upon. So when we were growing up, most of us look upon Raila Odinga. And the one thing I like with Raila Odinga is the issue of equality, whereby when there was a grand coalition government, there was an extension of the government whereby it was given prime minister. Instead of appointing all Luluas into the cabinet, he extended his hand across the country. And that one was also significant when Oruto allowed him to come to the previous government. He gave different regions the position of the CS to extent that people are saying Raila Apindi Wajaluo. So Raila, that's why I call him a hero. In me, that's my political hero. He has been my political hero. That is how I was initiated into politics. But as you grow up, you also have to have different ideologies or different philosophy politically. But most of us came from Raila Odinga personal level, leave alone the Shocham. And I also witnessed him jointly with Mwai Kibaki campaigning for the 2010 constitution, the spearhead, and also the champion for the Bill of Rights. That's why we're talking of equality. He also wanted to see an inclusive government whereby each and every Kenya is at least absorbed in the formation of governments. That's why I still refer to him as a hero. People refer to him as an enigma. But the issue of equality and inclusivity are very paramount because the Kenyan context, we are diverse, whereby if you don't include inequality and inclusivity, we can end up with some tribe not being part and parcel of the decision making of this nation. That's why I want to give him his flowers right now. And also, when it comes to the issue of Africa, he also dreamed of Africa that's united, Africa Moja, and also his famous campaign tool, his trade tool for campaign, that ujinga, ugonjwa, umaskini, poverty, diseases, and the third one. So he wanted to ensure that we jointly fight these enemies of Africans. And that's why you do the issue of Pan-Africanism. And you understand he extended his friendship with the Tanzanian people, the late Magufuli, and his favorite buddy, Olusegun Obasanjo from Nigeria. In that context, he is being viewed as a Pan-Africanist who championed for the United African. And recently, when he vied for the AUC, he became the runners-up. But the philosophies, even if they were never actualized, but at least there was ideally that indeed is part and parcel of that contribution. And also, he has tried, just like any other human being. We have our good sides and our bad sides. But customarily, when someone has died in African traditions, we celebrate. And when someone has demised at that age, we celebrate. That's why I'm telling you, we are celebrating a hero who has dedicated his life for the best interest of the nation. He has been part and parcel of the most of the government in the famous called handshakes, whereby he worked with Moi, Kibaki, Uhuru, and he was currently working with William Ruto. He ensured that he advocates for the people's interest, even though there are some circumstances whereby he might be viewed as maybe quote unquote betrayed a certain section. But that's how politics works to a certain extent, because when you shook hands with the Uhuru, the same people who complain about betrayal are the same people whom by that time who are now not comfortable with the Ruto. So you understand the policy of this country is too much complicated in the tribe to an extent that you can't please everybody. So for now, as far as things are concerned, I must celebrate him because he initiated me to follow Kenyan politics as early as 2007. He initiated me to follow the 10th parliament. He also initiated me to embrace the 20th constitution and also initiated me to embrace the devolved function of the government and to understand the structures and the interior and the exterior devolution, how it works and how it operates because of that interest he had. And also, I'm glad because he has tried to make peace with his opponents. He tried to make peace. The Uhuru Kenyatta, we have said it very clearly, a long-term enemy to Jaramogi, the Kenyatta one, but he tried. The sons come together, and now they join us. And also, I want to state that Raila, I like his spirit because he was very clear that he need to be buried within 72 hours, and that's why we have said that by Sunday he will be given that military burial. By 4 p.m. he will bury. So once someone has died, and Raila being an old man, he has embraced and also abandoned some cultures, and he has also embraced the new world as a Christian. And to state my last statement, I'd just like to say that the much Raila has done to the country, that is the best he could have done. We appreciate it. We appreciate him. Tunamtolea kofia, and we the people, we Kenyans, we the young people, we still have a time to live in this country. We should not leave the struggle by burying Raila. Let Raila lives beyond his burial. Let the spirit lives. Let us continue to struggle. Let struggle continue so that we can fight for impunity. We can fight for bad governance. We can fight for abductions. We can fight for the human rights. We can fight for the economical rights. We can fight for the social rights. The life must continue. And I like that spirit whereby Allah say that they should not take time burying him. That is the nature of a Christian. Makubra, give me 1 minute, I'm concluding kindly. I have to say this one because as a strong Christian, it's very also good to talk about faith. In our religion, as we are trained to understand that death is the beginning of a new life with Christ. So there's no need to fear death. And the way I told you people that there's no need to fear God. The intention of God was purposely to love him. We should worship him out of love. And that's why Christ was sent to teach about love. So it's all about love, not fear. This fear is a perception by the so-called whatever devil. But the point is love. So if you live a good life, a meaningful life, a purpose life like Raila Odinga, then it's very important for the community society to celebrate you when you are dead. So today I can say, I personally am celebrating my political hero, and I'm very categoric. I'm celebrating my political hero and who has initiated me and also who has invested and instilled some of the tools that we will use in the future in this country. So I can just conclude by saying, let Mzee rest in peace. And we, the remaining people, we owe him a lot. And we ensure that we promise Mzee that the struggle continues and we shall prevail victors. Back to you, Makubura.
Okay, thank you. Before I bring in Brother Benson, allow me to welcome our good friend Eric Ayaga. Eric Ayaga, you can. I'll give you a chance to give to send your condolence and possibly to just give us a narration of what you understood by, from Raila Odinga, the former Prime Minister, now the late. Eric?
Okay, I hope you can get me clearly. Okay, thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to join the rest of my colleague, you, Bernard, and Miguda, and the rest of our viewers in sending the condolences to the family, the entire ODM party, Kenya at large, and Africa for the sad news that actually we got early in the morning today. I think it was around 8 p.m. and around and 20 when for me I got the news, and I was really doubtful about it. So I only come to also confirm later in the day when things now are becoming so much public. So what I will say, let me be brief with my words. Baba was a great man. He was a man more than life. He is a book we cannot read with ours. Is a book we will read in all our life and pass it to a generation. And they always say the only thing that can replace a book is another book. So let us hope for the best. We pray for calm. And I also admire Raila Odinga's courage. And he said he should be buried within 72 hours. I think that is now becoming good to our people, and because we take a lot of time when somebody has perfected, we use a lot of money and a lot of time. And I think every day the sun rise, we learn a new thing as we grow older. And what we can expect at age of 80 is to rest, because even the Bible talk of 70 years, but for Raila, he had gone overhaul. 8 years, he must be now made peace with his soul, wherever the soul. We hope by tomorrow. I'm not in Nairobi though, but we hope tomorrow the things will be okay. For me, I just pray for peace, for calm within these 72 hours. I think we will get chance to talk about so many deep things, very many deep things, like the intel about Raila's death, the culmination that led to the postponement of the ODM celebration at 20. And I also remember the last day that Raila made a public speech in that gray and blue suit. Is it a gray or something like a light blue color or something? Raila was full of life. And we just pray that we know that Baba was a walking glass. He was his body was not well for a long time since I think prison days. Has been sometimes on medication and so forth. But in my mother tongue, we always say the good people do not take long with the disease. They don't suffer a long time. They don't get sick for long time. Good people die briefly, let the pain for the people who are back, and for the soul of the guy who is dead, he has taken a short time. Your death, your style of death can also tell either you're a good man or a bad man. If Baba walked up to today morning, Indian time, around 6, and 2 or 3 hours later he died, then I can categorically say I'm not God, but perhaps he was a good man, because somebody told me good people to not be sick for very long time. Though the pain will be for those who will be left behind. So I think for now, let Baba rest. I will pick a little bit later after Benson. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brother Ben. What is your take?
Thank you so much, Makobura. To me, I would say that the Right Honorable Prime Minister was a beacon of hope for many people, and it was an institution where so many politicians learned and graduated from him. And you will bear me witness that majority of younger politicians, you will not fail or uh, fail to get to them saying that they learned their politics from the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. I know so many things have been said about Baba, especially in terms of democracy and opening the democratic space, the social justice for people, that what he stood for, and even the forgiveness and how he usually loves his country. But I would take a different route and look at the especially the rumors about his life. I can remember when we were growing young, where people would say that Raila would just disappear. And if you listen to some of the Luos, they will tell you Raila woda molo igala gala, like those kind of like some tales that are not understandable. And this kind of stories, they're not only I've never heard of any politicians that get such like stories. It's only the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. Another thing that I would say about Raila Amolo Odinga is he's somebody who loved his country, and he's somebody who compromised. That he say that if at all this is going to cost the country, he would back off from it, and you know give a dialogue a chance. And that is something that you see in his political career. Miguda mentioned about him working, having the handshakes. No, and having the handshakes, and you look at what point do we have these handshakes? These handshakes, you find that Baba were having them, especially when the country was fighting, and like he said that okay, let me have this and so that we can create peace. So that is who he is. Another thing that I'm looking at is the art of politics of Raila Amolo Odinga. When I got the message, actually I got the message and I was not very sure of, I think, like two people. um First of all, uh, told me. Then I got one again from Miguda. Then Miguda was confirming. Then I said, Miguda, are you sure? Because always I'm one person that, especially when it comes to media, I usually don't rush. I have to make sure that what I'm giving the people is the true finding. So I was still holding on. But one thing that I would want to look at the art of politics of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, besides all the good things that you mentioned about him, something that no any other politician has done or any other politician will do in the world that we have today, is the way he played with power. He would go for competition, he would lose, but like at the end of the day, he will act like a co-presidency. And that's why you will see, or you will witness all these negotiation and the committees that are put in place. You will find they're being called the two principle. When you had the word principle or the core principle, it means that these people shared the same powers. And that is something that has been confirmed to us today by President William Ruto, by ordering that the Right Honorable Prime Minister to be given the state burial. Is like this is a president, and that is what I was thinking about. And I say that how he has played with the power, and today when he's given the final resting place, yeah, he's just given like a president. So that co-presidency, even though he did not get an opportunity constitutionally to be the president, but Raila Odinga was a president of his own. I can remember how even the CSS and even the people in the government would go to his office to solicit for his advice, tell you who he was. Another thing that I would talk about the Raila Odinga, the manner in which Raila Odinga had history. He would tell you the history of Kenya, and he would bury people, like he would attend funeral, and when he attended this funeral, especially for the people, he will tell you the history. And I think that that's where those who, especially the Kenyans who are talented in writing the books, they did not make use of Raila Amolo Odinga, especially to sit him down and to assist them to write some of these good stories. Some of the stories that Raila Odinga used to tell, especially during those burials or when he sits with the people, they're stories that are not written. And his memory was such sharp that he would tell you everything that has happened. And this was confirmed today by this good senator of Kisii, Onyonka, tell you how Raila was. And even the people who are very close to Raila Amolo Odinga, who knows him at personal level, will tell you a different person altogether in terms of memory. So actually, we've lost somebody who, uh, 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 like has shaped our politics. Another thing also that I would say about Raila Amolo Odinga is about 2000, during the post-election violence. There was a picture that I saw one time when they were working with the current president, President William Ruto, and they went to the morgue, and he saw how people were put in those closets, or those cabinets there, and you would see his face, and he was somebody who was disturbed. Then after that, he took a different turn. So Raila has always shown us doing what we are not expecting. You both of you and me know very well how their handshake with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta came as a surprise to so many of us, and even the political class, even the people that were very close to him, like Kalonzo Musyoka, and Musalia Mudavadi, and even Moses Wetangula. They were surprised, like other Kenyans, that they were having handshake with the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So that is something that also I would say about the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, apart from what people have said. I can also talk about today, especially because I was on the street of Kisumu for the better part of the morning, actually, when we got the message. We were with majority of the media fraternity in Kisumu. We were, I think, our first stop was at the KCB roundabout, that is Oginga Odinga Street. That's where, like, that was like a meeting point, and I think that was very, very, very much significant, because like that's where it was like a converging place, and you would feel the the day that this was a very, very, very painful day for people. I saw our mothers, some of them were crawling on the ground. I saw people weeping, and the convergence was at the KCB, that's Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Street. I hope most of you, if you've been in Kisumu, you know that. Another thing that I also saw is all walks of life came to the street. Our mothers came, young children came. The business were closed, and everybody were just on the street. So I think we've lost somebody who uh, um, has so much in him that he's going with, even though he's leaving us with a history. But I think what he's leaving behind is less. Is less as compared to what he's going with. I think, like, where the Right Honorable Prime Minister will be buried will be rich, because that there's so much that is going to be buried with him that some of us, or people of this nation, did not tap to tap and maybe showcase to Kenyans. Especially, I talked about his wealthiness in terms of history and his memory, you know. I know there's a lot that we will say about the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Hopefully tomorrow, if all is organized well, we might travel to Bondo to see what is happening, but we will still be in Kisumu, and we will give you the update. But to me, I think as Kisumu or Kenyan at large, we've lost somebody who was a legend on his own, and he was an institution. He was a reference, like it was a referral point, like people would refer, you know, and even some politicians also would get their seats through him. I know they're heartbroken because, you know, so some of them, you know, are enjoying those elective seats in the name of Baba. We have to agree in that. So that is all that I can say about Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. But I have so much to say about him. But for now, that is what I can say.
Okay, thank you so much. And maybe something else that you can give your views on is this evening we saw the Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki giving a press, and he did clarify on the plans that are already in place. And according to what he said, it was a will. There is a will that Raila should be buried within 72 hours. And this slightly contradicts the beliefs and the cultures of the region where Raila comes from. It also partly contradicts the beliefs of Africans, partly on how their matters of death are handled. And being that Raila Odinga was somebody of high caliber, the period 72 hours is not really enough in matters of planning for a state funeral. This is one of the things that the people of Kenya are giving their views, and specifically the people from his culture or area are not really
Mhm.
happy. They are not really happy with this. And normally we've seen whenever these leaders or big people in the society are being buried, there's always a long, some days for planning before the body is laid. And again, being that the Luo community celebrates life well lived, and being that Raila was a leader, the expectation of the people is that they would be given maybe even up to a month to do what we call a good celebration. But we are not seeing this, and that brings me to this question: what is your view, Brother Benson? And uh, what is your view on that particular will that Raila had for himself, and vis-a-vis the views of the society and the culture, and of course the expectation of his supporters? Remember, Raila had a huge support base in the entire country. Go to the coastal region, go to the northeastern region, go to you know uh, all these other parts of the country. The expectation from what I was seeing in the media, the people are asking that it would be good that the body is maybe taken to each of the regions. They have a they pay their last respect before Raila is taken for the burial. What is your take, Brother Benson?
Thank you so much, Makobura. You know, first of all, I would talk about the contemporary society that we have today. I think at some point I can remember Raila had spoken about, especially on how we celebrate the people. He was talking about finances that we use, especially when it comes to sending people off. You know, he also spoke about, you know, on the houses. You know, so this I think is like something that is happening in our contemporary society. But I would want to take a different route, or and look at it at this way. You know, Raila is somebody who is loved, and I think. In his own wisdom, and this is what I think, in his wisdom, he might have thought like if they could keep him for so long, that people would be heartbroken, you know. because always, when somebody dies, the day that the breaking news is told to his people, people will feel it, especially, like, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, he's out of the country, and you saw what happened in the major towns, especially what happened in Kisumu, what happened in Migori, what happened in Homa Bay. Uh, their pain, people were pain, the people were pained, and they say that, okay, they have to mourn. So, by that, saying that within the 72 hours, so I think Raila was creating that window for people not to mourn him for so long. So he decided to do it with the 24 hours. And we know within 72 hours, we know some other religion cultures, especially our brothers in the Muslim, they usually do it within a period of 24 hours. And you mentioned something about the Luo community. Luo community, they have their rituals, or I would call the traditions that we follow, especially, or we follow especially because I'm a Luo, we follow especially when somebody dies. Sometimes it is like a celebration, because if somebody has done so much to the society, because, like, look at what happened to Mandela when Mandela died, as an icon in South Africa. The South African danced, they danced all the way daily. They were just dancing and celebrating the life of Mandela. So, like, Raila was like that person. And, like, now you see we are having few hours to bury him. So I think Raila might have seen that he did not want to be kept for so long, and that one will kind of like make his supporters to get fatigued. That is one. Secondly, what Raila hold, especially when you look at the party politics. He was the chairperson of the party. If you hold it for so long, the more you hold him out for so long, the more intrigues will be coming. So I think he decided that one. Also, I think that Raila saw that he has done it. There's nothing left for him. There's nothing left. He has done good for this country. So when he goes to rest, let him be taken to rest. He never wanted to stay for so long. That's what I think. And maybe Migud and Ayaga too can weigh their thoughts on that.
Maybe Miguda, you can give us your take on that particular
Okay.
statement.
Okay. I want to be very clear, and let me respond first to our good friend Judith. Judith has just said that it should have taken much time to bury Raila. And let me tell you, Makubura, when Jesus Christ died, though he was a Jew, the tradition dictates that they bury them within, I think, the time he died. And Jesus Christ was buried within 3 hours. Burying somebody early is not an issue, let me tell you. Because just Jesus Christ could have taken a long time. We celebrate him because he was the only son of the Most High, or the beloved one. But let me tell you one thing. Christianity, or in religion, we believe that once someone is dead, there's much you can do. The best thing you can do is to bury the person as a Christian. And that's why we, my religion, we borrowed that from the Jewish culture. And we don't, like, if we have a dead body, we can't get that dead body on the Sabbath day, which is on Saturday. So if somebody died within Sunday and Friday, we must bury him before Saturday. But what if he died on Saturday? The next Saturday, we'll not get that person into the morgue. We must conclude it before the Sabbath comes, because that's a culture we borrow. But let me tell you one thing. We have tried it in our family, and it is a norm that if anyone pass away in our family, there's no need of us getting up to the Saturday. And we have had like 4 burials. There was a person who died on Sunday. By Wednesday, we were done. And let me tell you one thing: it's cheap, and the much you can do for a dead body is to bury that dead body. Even if you follow all those traditions, whatever you want to do, there's much you can do to it. So first, it creates what Ayaga told you, that you are brave. It shows that you are brave. You are part of Christ, yeah? Because death is inevitable. And as a Christian, you must believe that death is a beginning of a new life with Christ. And if Christ overcome death, then we Christians, we have life in the resurrection. So you should not have any so much rooted into culture, tradition, because it also creates that you don't fear in this world. So that, because like, the tradition of Luo community, Benson Ayaka understand me. We said, and I want to quote, "We togi oko." A man, as a man, you have to die outside. You don't need to die inside the house. And when Raila died in India, that's very significant because it showed that he is a man. And remember, in India, there was no wife there. He was only with the daughter and a bodyguard. So it portrays him as a brave, someone who understands that the nature that at times in life, you must quit. And when you are quitting, when you are very confident that when I'm dead, I must be buried within a certain period of time, it shows that you have overcome that death in the Christian's terms. So that's why I tell you, we have cultures and traditions, but we cannot stick and rooted into those cultures and customs. We need to embrace with the emerging world, yeah? Like you understand the issues like expenses. So you need to ensure that what do you do to a dead body? You bury dead body. But Raila being a leader, a prominent figure, is leading by example even in his death. That as a leader, I'm the person who has been advocating for that. Laws, let us not take too much before burying people. Let us not take too much time depositing corpse into the morgue. When someone is dead, ensure that you bury him. And he has been quoted. So you can't be someone who is purporting to lead, but when your turn comes, you want to be kept in the morgue for a month. So first, Raila is leading by example, is championing that even though we have cultures and traditions, but times have changed. And when times change, time does not change when I'm only living, times even change when I'm dead. So when he's dead, he's leading by example and is very categoric in his will. And the will of the dead must be respected whatsoever. Even if today he say that I want to bury within 24 hours, he will be buried. But because Raila being a prominent person, and that's why he extended it to 24 hours, because he needs things like public view, what's going to happen in Parliament tomorrow, public view. He needs things like what we call mass, requiem mass. He needs things like what we call like the military, those drills. Those drills must be undertaken by the military. And also, he needs to notify his guest, international guest, like the Prime Minister of India and other prominent figures in Africa, to come to his burial. So because of his stature, he has fixed it to 72 hours. But an ordinary citizen, we advocate that it should be within 24 hours because of the current emerging circumstances and the new things that have emerged. But if you can extend 48 or 3 days, that's 72 hours. That's how it should be, because what we tend to learn is that what you can do to the dead body, the best thing you can do to the dead body is to bury it and giving it a befitting send off. Religiously, that's our reasoning. And customary, when we come to the customs, we have seen that at the end of the day, with the low people, I gotta understand, Benson understand this one. Because we take too much, keeping the body in the morgue for 2 weeks, 1 month. Then when we are about to bury the body, we end up burying the body using a lot of expenses, food, people have come, hire tents, whatever. But even the orphans or the family was being left behind. Some of them lack school fees. Some of them lack even what they can sustain their lives for the next 2 years. but you've spent the entire money, like 1 million or 2 million, just to buy nice coffin, hire executive tents, and also good foods. Raila himself has been quoted saying that, Sisi, we need to change. We need to ensure that when someone is dead, we bury him as fast as reasonably possible. So, him being a champion for that new reform into the culture, him being a pioneer and a leader of that community, is leading by example. To me, I'll just urge other people to borrow that culture of burying somebody as early as reasonably possible, because it saves a lot. And also, when you bury your person as early, you also move on very fast, because at the end of the day, you have to move on. So by taking time, you are going to be, there's a lot of things can happen. And Raila being someone who's influential, and right now you understand what we are experiencing, what Ayaga told you about the intel of his death, and also the political terrain right now. You can't keep him in a morgue for a month. Many things will emerge. Politicians will take advantage of that barrier. So I believe what has been planned by Kindiki and Oburu is right, that we give our hero a befitting send-off as per his will. The will of the dead must be respected, but we also, the living, let us borrow from him. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Miguda. Eric, what is your take on the 72 hour that has been brought forth? And considering that there is culture as well, what is your take? And remember, there's also faith or matters of faith over here.
Okay, thank you very much. I think even in Luo culture, yeah, if people talk about culture, Luo culture, a man need to be buried within 72 hours. It is not wrong. It is in our culture. What always happen that took long is money. For an elderly like Raila Odinga, we have 40 days period of mourning. That was there, and I think it is still there, where the widow is allowed to put on sijui black clothes for about 40 days. Is when there is something that they used to do, which is called ULL, something like that. So that 72 hours is what is in our culture. Before these funeral eaters choose to make funeral places of making money and soliciting money, too much money from people. And I think even in Ogula's will, it was 72. And Raila spoke about it during that time. At it should be 72. And even when George died, the bodyguard, he asked people, why are you contributing? Why should you put? George was about in mortuary for about 1 week, and it was over. So I think we need to change our culture as a community to 72. It is better because you remember long time ago when an elderly died and the sons or daughters are still far, they used to do what we called half burial, weekend, where they could just, because there were no morgues, the body preservation was done at home, and they could not keep a dead body for like a month, like what we do nowadays, or 2 weeks. So you will be buried halfway. So when the people, all everybody is now in, they will do what we call the final burial. So I think we need to just to go back to our culture. Let us not use funeral as a money soliciting event. And number two, it also have a political implication. We will have so much rumors here and there, politics. Some want just Raila to belong, because Raila is like a political rock where many politicians always sharpen their tools to go to war. Search for MCAs, search for MPs, search for governors. So I think we need to rest Raila and take 40 days, just mourning a man, talking about him when we have laid him to rest, because there will be too much politics. And if you look at the ODM and the Luos and the entire country, I think there is going to be a lot of political changes that we need not to give Raila long days in the mortuary for no good reason. Um, I want to say, in terms of culture, there are things that if they start happening, people always don't want to talk about them. But today I will tell you few. How the life was programmed in life. It was that a man to die before a woman. If you marry, you you as a man should die before your wife. It is normal. If your wife dies before you, the elders must come and do something. Another intel, a child, a parent should not bury a child. In normal order of culture and spiritually, it is the childrens that are burying the kids. It is there, even in the Bible. And that's the Luo culture. And I want always people to look at these things. And today I will marinate with the Bible, because I think by tomorrow I will give you now these verses, yeah, where a parent should not bury a child. It is the child that buries the parent. Again, another intel that will tell you that the great leader will disappear soon in this world. And that's why perhaps the death of Raila Odinga was not a shocker to most of us who read deep into things. The death of a bodyguard or the guard, if your guard died before you, that is a very bad omen. Very bad omen. It is in the Bible. It happened to this king. Is it Rehoboam? Rehoboam, something like that. If not Rehoboam, Jeroboam, one of them, which the guard died before. And the prophet told him, that is a bad omen. The king will follow and will not take more than 6 months. So if you look at the time the war died, at the days or the months Raila took to die, it almost exact half a year or so. So those were intels, and I had them first on 12th July, when I lost a cousin back at home, and the elders gathered there because they were expecting him so that he be told the truth. On that day, I think Raila went to Bomet, because Raila was somebody who was on culture and is blended with some modernity. Because even I saw a clip where he was talking about circumcision, that the elders refuse and say, the word raiwom is what, those so many things. So he used to disagree too much with those group of elders, yeah. But those signs, those elders warned him. And today I think that the people, I think Ogeta, that bodyguard, is the one who sent the message immediately Baba died. And they sent the message back at home. And we got the message directly from home. through somebody called Pia Upondo, but it is another Ogeta, but they are related. Yeah. So when he called one of my uncle back at home and informed, so because my uncle thought I was in town, Nairobi, he called me. He asked me, how is the mood? I said, no, the mood is normal. I've just wake up normally and I'm heading to work. He said, there is nothing like any. I said, no, everything is okay. What's up? He told me no. And in another after again 5 minutes, he called me and he told me he's receiving a message that maybe perhaps Baba. So I just went to work because I knew maybe, tension too, ya kawaida, he was sick, blah, blah, blah. And around 9, I start seeing everybody in Facebook. So ilikuwa sad. It was a very sad event. But sometimes I always tell people, listen to the surrounding. If the surrounding, but also you cannot divert the death of an elderly man. If he dies, there are signs that he will be dying. And for me, those are the days I start shifting allegiance. Because I knew probably or perhaps we will not have Raila for a very long time. And I think even Raila Odinga knew himself. I think if there is a young man called Marco Uri, if he will be speaking later in the day or some days, he will tell people that Raila told him that by 2027, he may be not in this world. So them as young youths should actually prepare to live without him. That was a very coded message. It was given directly by the Raila himself. So these older people, when things want to happen to them, also they know. And that's why I think with even if you look at the ODM, somebody asked me today, why was not Wanga crying like he cried when Ongondowere died? I told the guy, Ongondowere died unexpected death. But I think these people, Raila might have prepared them. And even when he was leaving the country, he must have prepared these people that I am going to the hospital. And the Indian doctor, I love Indian doctors because I dealt with them when my mom was sick. And the year was 2015. The Indian doctors, they are always very honest with the patients. So we were in Mombasa Hospital. So I went to donate blood. I was heading back to Nairobi to sit for my neck. We were doing a December neck college. So those guys told me, my friend, as much as we are trying, your mom will not stay for about 4 months. 4 months, that's maximum. But when I reached Nairobi, the same doctor called me and told me, we have given that blood. And what I can tell you as a young man, what are you doing? Say, I rushed back to Nairobi to sit for my exam. Your mom will not live for another 1 month. You better finish your exam and come back. So Indian doctors, they are very honest. And I know, and something tells me, that they must be very honest with Raila Odinga. That this, where we have reached, all things we have tried, you may not be there very soon. So I think Raila Odinga prepare even his family. So that's why there is that containment, even in terms of these leaders. It is not a shock to them. There is a death that when somebody die, then there is that shock. Yes, for normal citizens like us, there was, but to the, I think the ODM, because the last time when the ODM was going to campaign in Kasipul, and even the the Sifun who used not to be in good terms with these ODM members. He went to Kasipul, and I could read body language, and he said, "We will be here," because what the ODM was trying to portray is unity. Because I knew they were expecting either Baba will be in hospital for very long time, or Baba might actually not be in this world very soon. So let us hope for the best. Baba is dead, but I prefer, for me, and I've made it public. Mine will be even less than 72 hours. Why should I fear mortuary. I fear because I'm I'm not a kind of a guy who will be taken to Lee. So I'm just imagining such mortuaries where I can be preserved for 2 weeks. No, 72
Ayaga,
hours, that's
Ayaga,
enough. Yes, yes.
you will be dead. You will not even know you are there.
But my will speak for itself. So about 72, like my mom used to tell us, me I fear mortuary. So within 1 week, kama nimekufa mbali, malizeni hiyo story, case closed. So I think the Indian doctors are the best doctors in terms of honesty with patients. They are not kind of people who will take you to a life supporting machine. I am seeing some people alluding to, oh, maybe Raila was taken to a life supporting machine. He died long time ago. They were just managing things. No, those people, Indians, they don't do that. They will just tell you the truth, and they will declare somebody dead immediately he died. So let us pray for the family. Let us pray for the nation. We don't know, but I'm seeing so many dark clouds in the near future in this republic after Raila's death, because Raila will die with so many people. That one I will tell you. Many people will die. Some natural death, some in their bed, some will just die because Raila is dead, and they don't want to see Kenya without Raila Odinga. And we will have a crop of new generation leadership that will steer our community, our party into prosperity. Let me rest my case for there. God bless Kenya.
Thank you, Eric Ayaga, for giving us your take. Maybe my last question to you that I'd also want you to give your take on is why, Raila served as the prime minister. He, of course, contested for presidency for almost five consecutive times, and he never had the opportunity to lead as the president. The president has declared that he's going to be buried, and he's going to receive a state funeral. That is, what is the significance of that, brother Mr. Miguda, and what does that mean? Is it just one that is offered to him because of the position that he held, or is it being given because he's currently closer to the president? What are the benefits of that? And can also give us a clarification of what it means and the procedures that are undertaken. Miguda.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to be very fast so that I can give my two colleagues to continue. First, Makura, you have to understand that Raila Odinga is not only going to be given state burial, but accompanied with full military drills. You understand what I'm saying? That's in Kenya, the only people who can be given that kind of burial is the only CDF who is serving the office and the president, the current president or the outgoing one. But even the CDF who is retired can't receive such accord. So, to cut the long story short, how can you deny how all circumstances, be it whatever is closer like root or not, how can you deny Raila such befitting send off? You cannot. You cannot, because Raila, that issue of playing with power, is a president of its own. He is having his people, and he has also commanded certain reforms to the country. To me, that is the best you can give him. That's the best you can give him as a nation. Raila is the son of this nation. He has done a lot of this country. What best can you give him at his deathbed or when he's dead? That's the best you can give him, because he has been in that power. He has been that power, and that's such significant send off are given to people in power. And just to brief you on, you have asked me about the procedure. I can just confirm to you that first, you saw the delegation who has gone to receive his remains at India. In India, sorry. The delegation were led by the Prime CS and the Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary. The cabinets, you saw the cabinet in that whatever, the jet. And the Indian government, through the Foreign Department, are responsible to ensure that the body reach JKIA. So you see the relationship between nation, the Indian and the Kenyan government working seamlessly without any penny being contributed by anybody. That is a very significant, that the people who have gone to bring the remains of Raila Odinga. When you are dead now, you are no longer Raila Odinga. What we have is the remains, because now there's that separation of the breath of life and the body. So Raila Odinga, that one alone is very significant. Number two, tomorrow is going to lie in state in parliament. It's only given to the head of states, not even a military general, not even a CDF. So that alone is a person of his own caliber, is a person of his own style, and there's no way you can deny him. From that, I think it's going to be a full military operation. What they should do to their commander in chief. That's why they have decided to allow it to happen the way it happened. And you understand what will happen. All the kinds of salute, gun salute, where the coffin covered with the Kenyan flag, and also it must be buried before 4 p.m. according to the military instructions, that it must go down before 4 p.m. So what I've learned is that Raila Odinga, and before I tell you what I learned, because Ayaga gave us an eye-opening to the statement, and I agree with you, Ayaga, what you said about what happened within King Rehoboam and the guard is very true. And Raila knew very well that he was going to die, and this is why he knew he was going to die. Me, I'm privileged. I've been with these old people, not poor old people, wealthy old people. I've been privileged to handle them at their 90s. Makura knows this one very well. When I was having a patient at his 93 years old, very wealthy patient, he told the wife that you go back home and take care of the home. Literally, the wife knew that in the next 2 hours, the patient was going to die. So they usually know, these old people, they usually know that, okay, this is the time. So they can't tell you. and they like to demise in the absence of their family or the close people they're close to. Raila was going to India. He was very comfortable with Ogeta, not even Ida, because he had already bid them goodbye, that I'm going, but I'll not be back. So it's better for them to die in the absence of their close people, like their wives or the family. This is not the first time I'm witnessing such deaths. This is the third time. They usually they understand the time, and they know, and they usually exclude the family, so they do it. And that alone is a significant of someone who was very courageous and brave. And that's why when Nyong'o was mourning Raila, Professor Nyang Nyong'o, he was very categoric that the lion has gone back to the mountain. So they understand what they're saying spiritually. Just to conclude by telling Makubura, Raila Odinga deserve it. Raila Odinga deserve it because Raila Odinga has won the presidential. He has won, and he was never declared. So what is wrong by giving giving a presidential send off? So be it. Let him have it. He deserve it. He fought for it. There are things that you can't deny somebody. Give him that thing. If someone is married, give them. You know, it take a lot of sacrifice for some among his peers. Where are they? He's the only person who was with there. And just like Ayaga, actually, even me, I was never shocked. I knew, and I knew very well, and I was very much prepared. And that's why me personally, I have shifted my allegiance somewhere else, which I have not discussed here. I think as time goes, we discuss the things which happened. But I understand that there has been never at times in this country whereby people have been talking about kingpin, kingpin, kingpin. But when you hear people discussing the succession of a king while the king is alive, those are the signs that the king is going. But when people are not discussing the succession of a king is around, because people never discuss about his succession in 17 election, in 13, in 2007. But immediately after 27 election, people were all over discussing about the succession of king. There were even being one. Do not discuss the succession of a king when the king is alive. But if you see such discussion, know very well that the time is nigh. So it was evident for some of us who can foresee the future. That's why when we were doing some things here, we understand what we were doing. Not that we were that reckless or we were not paying allegiance. We are paying allegiance, but also you must read times that there are things that when you experience in life, you must be someone who can be able to read your surrounding. So I can just say, Makubura, let him have it. He deserve it. We will not. We don't even negotiate or debate. Raila deserve what is being given.
Brother Benson, what is your take? You can also give us your take on the state funeral thing.
Thank you so much, Makobura, for the time. I can see Ayaga Ayaga has left, but he'll be coming. You know, when you talk about state funeral, you know, it tells you what that person was holding in a society. And as I mentioned to you earlier about the art of politics of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, there's no any other Kenyan who will do it, and there's no other Kenyan who will do that kind of politics, because its art of politics was at a bigger level. And you know, when you're doing a literature book, the literature book, there are so many incidences that are in the literature book that you might point and written, and you say that, why do you think this could be a state funeral? And you could give citation, or you can refer or somewhere that literature, that writing is confirming. One of the things that I would say, that I'm looking at it politically, but it might not be of great importance, but I'm looking at it this way. Raila is the only opposition leader who did a mock swearing in. He was sworn in as the people's president, and during his swearing in, remember when Matiangi was the CS, nothing happened. The police, he did it swearing in and he went home. So has it that now that his swearing in, where he was people's president, is now being recognized by the President William Ruto? Another thing also, I would want to point out when I'm looking at politically, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga and President William Ruto have both good side of their politics and bad side of their politics, but the good side of their politics is now confirmed beats the bad side of their politics, whereby they disagreed. If I can bring you back when President William Ruto was barring the guy, the security guard of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, there's something that he said about what Raila did for him, and what he did for Raila and what Raila did for him. And these are friends, of the friends of politics. And when Ruto was barring the guard of Raila Odinga, remember, he said that there's something that I did for you, and now you are giving back. And when now the Gen Z came, and Ruto called in Ruto, and Raila came in until they stabilized the government and came back. They came in with broad-based government. That is very significant for somebody who has stood with you during difficult time. And I think for now, Ruto is giving back, and is giving back in a special way. If, let's say, if they could have not been so much, if there was no friendship in them, political friendship, I don't think President William Ruto would have decided to give the Raila state funeral, because like he has all the powers. But this is somebody that have assisted you politically, and politically you are together. So that is the main reason why. Secondly, I would also bring in the Raila himself, the struggles that Raila has had for this country. There's so many things, or there's so many uh, fruits that we are enjoying today, just because of him, that he paid with his life. Because if you see, look at the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, the way sometimes he has that white handkerchief, would wipe his eyes with that, with that handkerchief. So he has played so much, so that this is the only thing that I think the president currently, President William Ruto, would give to Raila as a package, or as a gift, for not a package really, but as a gift for for him during his last journey in this world. And there's something that both Migoda and Ayaga have spoke about the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, especially Ayaga has mentioned in Kasipul Kabondo, we saw Sifuna, and all along we knew how Sifuna had taken his consent, especially when it come to some of the issues which did not go down well with some of ODM members. That one could have been a telltale. To me, something that I looked at, and I was putting question mark, though I was not linking it to the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, but is about the postponement of the ODM at 20. When that one came, by then we had already known that the Right Honorable Prime Minister was not feeling well, even though some of them who were very close to him were not accepting that, because like that is their family. They have the right to dismiss anything that everyone was saying. But we already got some wind that he was not feeling well, so he had to leave the country and go somewhere. So by postponement of that, actually, that one was a very big significant. And you'd ask yourself, why would something that has at 20, and with the date that everybody has known could be changed until further notice, that was something that would make you um, think otherwise. But generally, to me, there's so much that we can say about the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, because I tend to take like a very, very, very unusual route that people have not taken, especially um, in his life, because everything that he has brought is everybody knows, So let's wait and see. But I think we would say to President William Ruto to congratulate him, especially for offering Raila to be given a state funeral. That is one of the best things that he could do to his colleague, his brother, or his political brother.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Benson. I don't think we'll go for long. There's much that we are still waiting to hear so that we get to know the full program of tomorrow. And I think we'll proceed tomorrow to, of course, give more clarification of what is expected and, how everything is going to happen. And I think we should just call it a day and proceed tomorrow with the conversation, of course. As we are waiting for more information, there's a group that has gone to uh, travel to India, of course, led by the Prime Cabinet Secretary, amongst close allies of Raila and all senior government officials who are going to, of course, to travel back with the body. So that, among others, are part of what we are waiting. From the communication that was given, they're supposed to be getting to India at around 1. And then tomorrow at around 8:30, the body should be in JKIA. And from the sources we're having, it will be received by the president.
Actually, Makobura, what is going to happen is this. Sorry for to cut you short. The delegate, the Kenyans who went to India will only have, like, if at most 2 hours rest at most. Yeah, then they will be on their way back um, to Kenya. Then from there, the body of the Right Honorable Prime Minister will go to Lee. From there, it will go to I think to the Parliament. Then all that. But I know, as you said, so much is going to happen. Not only tomorrow, but even the political waters in Kenya might change. Is changing because this is one person who control the politics of Kenya in another way. Because, like, there are so many things that people would wait on Raila to speak. That is when they will know that, okay, this is something that we should fight for. So so many is going to change politically. I'm looking at the ODM2 fraternity. There's so many things that are going to change county wise, the nation. So many is going to change. The broad-based government is going to change. So there's so much that we will be talking about as news and things unfolds.
Okay, thank you so much. I can see a comment from a good friend or follower, Quick Media. Quick Media is asking that I would really want you guys to briefly discuss on the succession of Raila Amolo Odinga. Yeah, that is a topic that we will find time and have a discussion about. Currently, of course, even the culture does not allow a discussion of succession, especially before the burial. And I don't really think it is also a good thing to discuss at this particular moment. but it is a topic that we can talk about as from Sunday evening heading towards Monday. I think that would be a good time for us to start giving our views on what would then transpire in the coming days, because of course we understand now that is no more, this there has to be someone who will be taking his place. Migura, I'll give you a chance to give your last remarks, and then Brother Benson will give his last remarks. Later on, we'll call it a day.
Okay, I just want to say that today we were very saddened as people of Kenya, and we have mourned the hero, particularly my political hero, and we are very specific that we shall discuss much into details. It is not permissible for anybody to discuss anything when the body has not been buried. You cannot discuss it after that one, customarily. So for now, we have to convey our condolences to the family, and also we have to confirm them in this and timely circumstances, and we have also to encourage Kenyans that the struggle must continue. It does not end with Raila. Raila is gone, but the spirit is still alive. Long live Raila. And we wish all of you a blessed night from my end, and see you next time. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brother Meguda. Benson, what is your final remarks?
Okay, thank you so much, Makobura, and thank you so much for everyone who is in the comment section, including our good friend, who has just the quick media who also is requesting us to do that. We will do it, my brother, and as time goes, because it is something that we cannot uh, um, like ignore to talk about, because there are two things that we must speak about: these succession politics, especially in terms of the Luo nation. The Luo nation, who is going to succeed to speak on behalf of the Luo nation, because that is something that will have to happen at some point. It's also succession politics in the ODM as a party, because you know that ODM as a party has a big following in the country. So who is going to be this person who will be uniting, or who will call the shots? Because sorry to go into deep, just giving you a preview. You know that our political parties usually have personification, especially when we talk about a political party. We know there's a person behind them. And now when you look at ODM, the founder of ODM, who is usually even more stronger than the party, is no more. Will the party stand the test of time if you look at our Kenyan politics? So there's so much to be discussed about the succession. We have the broad-based government. How is broad-based government going to work? So there's so much quick media. So just stick to Brother Benson Media. So you will be here and we'll be discussing, and we will be sharing the links, because like you're a media too, you can come and share with us what you think. Frederick Kwelwe, thank you so much for joining. Makubura, I still don't know how things are, but we might, I'm still not very sure, but we might proceed to Siaya tomorrow. We might, I'm still not very sure. Because like even today, we could not use the cameras and set up the issues, because you know how it was so much I think you saw some of the videos how they were where we are at. So we had to use the phone, but we came to realize our phone could not take so long. They were heating, so sometimes they had to shut down. And something also we also discovered, I don't know what was happening, is that we did have like the internet. We had the internet, but now when we now going live, we find that we were not very clear. So it's something that we were working on for those who join us live when we were live covering, and they could not get the images very clearly. We really apologize for that. There was also a problem with the sound that we fixed, but tomorrow we are working on how to get a clean videos, especially when we will be going live. And also, let me take this opportunity to thank Goodyear for joining us. We will be soon sending you some photos, especially the ones that we used when we went for community work. Thank you so much, Makubura, for your time.
Okay, I was actually forgetting the last time we took time to say a big thank you to our team who supported us with the rim peppers. Gypsy Corner or the good year was not really in. So as a team, as a media, we want to take this opportunity now that you are here to really acknowledge and to say a big thank you to the support that you gave us. We visited the school, and the students or the people who are really grateful, the society were really grateful, and they were really in need. They were very thankful. All they said is that they can only pray for the team that supported, and that may God bless each and everyone who contributed or assisted in one way or another. So thank you so much, Goodyear, for the consistency support that you've always given to Brother Benson Media. We don't take it for granted. We really, really appreciate. Yeah, on my side, I also want to take the opportunity to, of course, tell the people of Kenya that at this uh, morning period, let us just unite, let us speak together, let us, make right decisions. Let us not focus on political uh, narratives or political views. Let us speak together and console each other as those who trusted and knew Raila Odinga was mourning in one way or another. So it is a good thing for those of you who have been with us here. This is the Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. Thank you so much for finding time to join us. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.